If you are buying a property just in your sole name, but you've got a long-term partner and you aren't married, a will is a way that you can ensure that your long-term partner can inherit the property when you pass away. Now, you might be thinking then, why is this relevant? Well, if you think there's lots of people out there that are buying a house, and it crops up all the time when I'm helping people sort their mortgages out. Couples buying a house where maybe one person has got low credit and the other one has got good credit, or the one party has recently went self-employed, and adding them onto the mortgage application will reduce the maximum lending available. So what happens in these scenarios is the party that has good credit and that can afford the mortgage often gets the mortgage in their sole name. But what that can then do is it can alienate the other person where they don't have any control over the property and what happens in the future. Now, there are ways round about this, and there's things that you can get put in place. For example, you've maybe not heard of this, but what you can do, and it's called sole borrower joint proprietor. This is where one person owns the property and there's two people named on the title deeds. Now, these options aren't available for everyone. They're available through specialist lenders and they can also sometimes be quite costly. So, what tends to happen in these scenarios is one person buys the house in their sole name and the other party moves in with them, sometimes even contributing towards the deposit, but the other party moves in with them. And what you can do is you can protect that by getting a will in place. Now, what would happen is if you are unmarried, it's different when you're married, but if you're unmarried and you're buying a house on in your name, but you've got a partner who's living in that house with you, they cannot inherit the property off you unless there is a will in place. So the death of one person or one party could have a huge impact or and cause potential financial problems for the remaining living partner. So a will can protect you against that. Now, what there's also other options in place. For example, if the property's in will or in a will, and you can get your life insurance set up, as if you can get that put in on a joint basis, what will happen is, on the event of the first death, the joint party will automatically get those funds, and if it's the property's been left in the will to them, they can use those funds to pay the property off and the mortgage off, and they can inherit that property mortgage free, alleviating some of these issues. What they could also do is, if you don't want to go down that route, or if there's been health conditions in the past, you can do what's known as put the life insurance policy into trust, which is free through most insurance providers. And if you're the one that's getting the property and the insurance is in your name, you can get a trust set up, which ultimately let's keep it really simple. If you die, it means the person that you want to get the money is going to get it. You can do that. It will bypass the intestacy rules and the person. So if you're buying a property with a partner, they'll get that money through the trust. You've left the property to them in the will. They can then use that money to pay that off. Now, there is a lot more to wills and trusts and insurance, but that's a brief overview. So if you find yourself in the position where you're buying a property with your partner, one of you is get poor credit and you don't want to go down the route of complex sole mortgage joint proprietor, or if that's not an option, you could consider doing it just in one person's name and getting a will set up to protect the other person.